Hi, it's me again. I know this is coming out late. I've had some things that I'm dealing with and stuff. I had full intentions on doing the ghost edition of this because tis the season. I've been heavily medicated due to this magical rash that is all over my body. About 60% of my body is covered. I've had to stop taking the meds now because I have the final driving competition on Friday, and I need to kind of be more up here. So it's just coming off of the loveliness of it all. So I've decided to do a little bit more of what I'm currently going through again than oh, I seem to be going through something. It's just like, uh-oh. What are you dealing with now? So yeah, let's just get into it. So I'm back in counseling, and in counseling, we are trying to, well, we are the royal we. I'm trying to figure out my values. Values are a person's principles. They're basically their standard of behavior. It's what guides them, what's important to them, their north star in a sense. And I've realized that I've been kind of squashing my values a little bit just due to the fact that now that I'm focused on how am I feeling? Like I've been really trying to like how does this make me feel? And instead of just being all up in my head, I'm trying to go down into my gut a little bit and stir up that because you can make yourself crazy if you're in your head all the time. So now that I'm more focused on my feels, I'm realizing that some things don't make me feel very good. And I have been kind of trying to contain it, and the bubble's about to burst. And uh it's you can make matters really, really bad if you do it in an unconstructive way. Basically, Godzilla the city is how it could be done about. Now, I'm gonna give myself props here. This is like I'm glad I'm recording it because I'll probably never admit to this, but I held it together quite well during dinner. I didn't say shh. I didn't say that. Now, it may have come across as me being extremely weird or like being like, what the frig? Like I could feel people's thoughts. That's how great that was. But I had I had a talk with myself, and it's just like, we understand that we're upset right now. So until we work out exactly why it is that we're upset, don't talk to anybody. Don't say anything because you know what's going to happen? As soon as you open up your mouth, everything's just going to flood out like the frigging gates of raging. I'm not going to continue on with these words, but you get what I'm saying. So I held it together. And then I'm just like, you know what? If I stay here, because I started hearing the whispers and the not so whispered stuff of other people that don't know how to keep their voices quiet, I decided to just leave. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. Did you know that? You can just leave. Who knew? You don't have to stay in an environment that's making you uncomfortable. You can leave. Oh. Anyways, so I did that. Now, that night, I got about an hour of sleep, and the rest of it was fueled by internal thoughts. So I got to think a lot, and I came to a couple conclusions that basically made me feel good. Now, in Abraham Hicks stuff, she basically says like sometimes you need to work through the emotions. So you need to like feel despair, and then you get into that anger, and then work up to revenge, and then work up and work up and work up. You just got to allow yourself to be in those moments and feel those things, so that you can actually like fully express it and work through it and move up, which is like I want that. So I came to this conclusion of basically giving an ultimatum. It's like either you change what you did, or this is the outcome. And then when I finally got to the point of saying something, the ultimatum was gone. And I just basically came right to the conclusion that this is happening and this is why. And then I got thinking about it more afterwards. Now, I'm being cryptic and I apologize for that, but the details aren't really necessary. So this is just, it is what it is. So I stated that and then realized, like, by me doing that, not only am I depriving myself and other people, and like it's a lot more than just me. It's a lot more than just me. And here I am putting it just like I'm angry. I'm angry. And I'm throwing my garbage all over the place. And that's not the point. I did the thing that I needed to do. I stood up for myself and I said in a calm manner, like I didn't explode or anything like that. I said what needed to be said, and I was able to at least express it in a manner that, yeah, again, the words might have been a little twisted, but it's in retrospect, like, you can't do anything about it now. It at least stemmed the next part of this, which was I can't do what I said I was going to do. And that's fine because we're, guess what? Light bulb number two, we're allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to say something and do something else. Now, this comes back to the value thing because with the values, like they're going to change. Your opinions based off of your life experience and what you go through and what comes next and all of these things, your opinion on things are going to change because now you've got more information. Now you've got this. Now you have like it changes constantly. Life is a constant change. And we're not supposed to stay the same. We are supposed to ebb and flow. We're supposed to go with the current. What causes when we, build up those walls when the stream's trying to go and we're just like, no. It's like, well, you can fight it for as long as you want to, but eventually you're going. So how do you want to go? Do you want to go kicking and screaming or do you want to just float? Well, I've got over my kicking and screaming because it honestly, in the end of things, it doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't. But it also made me realize again what's important to me. Obviously, this thing's important to me. Obviously, I felt like I put in the time and I proved myself worthy of such a thing to have it basically be denied to me. That happens. Like these guys that I'm reading in this book, this is the book I'm reading, which kind of comes back to the value thing because as soon as I'm trying to figure out my values, boom, chapter of values. These guys in this book, there's three of them. One was a Japanese soldier that was basically deployed to a remote island and was told to, no matter what, do not surrender. Like that's it. So even after the war was done, this guy is still on the island fighting off people and everything, being like, nope, 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 not believing that the war is over, not believing anything, being like loyal to a fault. Then finally, someone gets him to basically realize that the war is done. He goes back and he's like, what was I fighting for? Like, this isn't the same place. Like, he was basically moved forward in time. Like, yeah. So his value wasn't worth it. Another guy was a musician in a band and he basically got kicked out. No reason, no nothing. Got kicked out and he's like, instead of staying in this self-pity mode, he decided that he was going to make a better band and his band was going to be like the best of the best and it was going to blow that other band that kicked him out of the water. That didn't end up happening. So for the rest of his life, he felt like a failure. Now, 20 years before that, in this other band, a guy got kicked out for no reason. They didn't give him a reason or anything. They just didn't want him in the band anymore. Kicked him out. And he kind of fell into depression and kind of got, sad and sappy, drank, like, and everything, tried to commit suicide, like, and all of this stuff, like all of this stuff that you go through, that it's just like life sucks. And he finally started changing his values. He started realizing what actually was important and focused on that. Now, out of all of those guys, that guy had the best life in the end. He was happy with his life because he changed. He evolved. He allowed what was and what was to be. He went with the flow instead of trying to stay in something that wasn't for him anymore. And that was just like, holy crap. Like you can still have all of the things that you want. You just got to change the way you look at it. Perception is like an amazing thing. If you're looking at something and it's not making you feel good, you can look at it in a different way. You might not be able to at that time, but that's usually a key to just kind of step back from it for a bit and then just realize that like life is happening for you. It's not happening to you. Nothing is happening to make you upset, make you, all of these things are meant to be catalyst for you to adapt and change and evolve because that's what we're here to do. That's what it's all about. Now, this book has been great because I love the way that he puts that we all have problems. Life is just a cesspool of problems. Now, you can have bad problems or you can have good problems, but regardless, you're going to have problems. Life is not going to be problem free. You can be the richest person on earth and still have problems. It's just you have good problems. You could be the poorest person on earth and have problems, but you're viewing them as bad problems. Like these are all just things that you can solve. You can do something about them, but it's whether you choose to look at it and actually do something about it. There comes a point these negative emotions are there for you to do something. They're not there for you to just fester in and, build this little rage monster and then release it onto unsuspecting victims and then just feel justified in your actions because they were wrong and I was right. That's not what it's about. That's not what life is about. Like we want to be happy and we want to be successful and whether you think it or not, you want that for other people too. And regardless whether other people are doing in their own lives, they're only doing it to better themselves and to make themselves happy and to do that. They're not doing it to get back at you or anything like that. Now, in some cases, some people do, but like that's in their own thing. That has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. And once we start to realize this, like we can just start focusing on our problems and making our lives better. And in doing that, we make the world around us better. And so, with that all being said, this little late edition of values and vlogging, I don't know, whatever we decide to call this, make a dragonfly today. That's all I got to say. Okay. Hope you guys have a great day, week, month whenever I see you or you see me again. And until then, be happy, guys.